Graduating class of 2013, faculty and staff, family and friends, good morning. What a happy day. From Brazil to Belgium, Iceland to India, and China to Canada, the international class of 2013 is the largest in Stanford Law School's history. This is the first year that the law school has had a separate advanced degree class speaker, and we thank Dean McGill for this opportunity. The 65 advanced degree students graduating today hail from 29 countries. It is an honor to represent them and to speak to you all. Frankly, I suspect that my classmates only chose me because of my accent. One of my American friends told me that I could stand up and recite the alphabet backwards and everyone would still love it. Rather than doing that, I've decided to take the more traditional route of sharing with you a little about our different backgrounds as international students and about the similarities and connections that we now share. Many of you have come to know the advanced degree students over our time here. For those who are not as familiar with us, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our backgrounds. Most of us have concentrated almost exclusively on law before coming to Stanford, gaining law degrees in our home jurisdictions and practicing for a number of years in law firms or elsewhere. Our ranks include former law clerks in the Mexico Supreme Court, the Israeli Supreme Court, and international tribunals, as well as former employees at the European Union and the United Nations, together with a number of students who have worked in-house or in private practice across the globe. We're diverse not only in our backgrounds, but also in our motivations for coming to Stanford. Some of us have come here intending to stay for a while and practice law in the United States. Others would like to take all we have learned here and share it at home. Some of us have taken the opportunity to explore many different subjects while at Stanford, while others, in particular the JSD and JSM candidates, have devoted hours to legal scholarship. Some students came with their families, and we take the opportunity to thank those families now, as well as all of our families and friends for their unfailing support, whether they are watching this later online or have crossed oceans to celebrate with us today. We could not have done this without you. So as I've explained, we're all very different. But now, along with the rest of the class of 2013, we have Stanford Law School in common. During our time here, we have seized academic opportunities, formed lasting friendships, and expanded our horizons. I'm going to talk about the friendships we've forged first. It's fair to say that we have had some American adventures together, from trying our hands at beach volleyball to embarking on possibly ill-advised road trips to Vegas, to trips to Lake Tahoe, where experienced skiers taught those of us from hotter climates, well, I say those of us, I'm obviously not one of those people coming from England, but how to at least fall over gracefully when skiing. We have thrown ourselves into Stanford life as well, forming rock bands, challenging the JDs to soccer matches, challenging Berkeley to soccer matches, and in the case of one Chinese student, even joining the Stanford marching band. Amidst all of this, a Korean lawyer dazzled us all by sitting for and passing the California bar in February. Quite an achievement. I think those of us now facing several summers, a summer of bar prep kind of wish that we might have done the same thing. But throughout all of these enriching experiences, we've made lifelong cross-cultural friendships. As just one example, Lily, the 6-month-old daughter of a Swedish LLM, will now return home with a Brazilian lawyer as a godfather. In academic terms, we knew that we were coming for a first-class education, to learn from amazing faculty and staff whom we thank for making us feel so welcome here. In particular, we thank our teaching fellows and the program assistants this year for all of their support. I've been told that it's a joke amongst the JD students that the international students start every class contribution with the words, "in my country." Honestly, I confess there is probably some truth in that, at least in the early weeks. But we hope that there is also great value to having that comparative view of law in the classroom. One of the problems of legal practice, especially some of us have found in the early years, is that it's all too easy to become focused on the four walls of your office or the document in front of you and forget to look up and around. As I've learned already in my own practice, it is important for lawyers to look up, look across borders, and learn from each other. And Stanford has reinforced the importance of this comparative outlook for us. From conferences on online dispute resolution and cybersecurity, to classes on financial regulation or international intellectual property, one key part of our education here has been a reminder that so many legal issues are interconnected and how much we can gain when trying to find legal solutions from looking up and around. And so to the future and our expanded horizons. And I say that quite literally, given that in my case, I've come from a very grey city to this wonderful California setting. We have all served as ambassadors here for our own countries. We leave now as ambassadors for Stanford Law School. Ambassadors don't just provide insights into local cultures and explain to you the details of otherwise incomprehensible local law. They also make you feel at home. On this happy day, each of us commits to continuing to cherish and nurture the connections that we have formed here. You have welcomed us into this community and as part of the Stanford Law School family. We invite you now to allow us to reciprocate. Know that you can call on friends and colleagues scattered across the world. In fact, we even invite you to cold call us. We are thrilled to be part of this graduating class and now to be joining the wider Stanford alumni community. To my classmates here, I'm so proud to be graduating with you and of your amazing accomplishments. To everyone else, I return to a theme. In my country, we say congratulations and thank you so much for having us.
Greetings, and salutations to the faculty and staff, to friends and family who are here today with us, to the one and only irreplaceable class of 2013. Might I say, you make those TAMs look good. My friends, I have some news for you. We are all unique in interests and experiences, in backgrounds and aspirations, in where we come from and where we will go. But there is one thing that unites us all. We are all deeply and profoundly in debt. I mean like drowning in debt. And I don't just mean debt in the financial sense, although in my case that kind of debt is staggering. What I mean is that we're deeply indebted to everyone who made this moment possible for us. Honestly, it's not a joke. To the families and the parents who loved us from the very beginning, to the significant others who sustained us, to the faculty who educated and inspired us, to the staff who never get enough credit, who do all the hard work day to day to run this school. One must watch out, the applause will run over the punchline. Do all these, run this school, and among other things, keep the lights on and the buildings heated, except for room 180. which is kept at a brisk 38 degrees. What we have done is really only possible because of what they have all done. So sometimes the cliche turns out to be true. This day belongs just as much to all of them as it does to us, and I say thank you. So I'm told my task this morning is to speak for the JD class. As anyone knows who's ever read the emails that we send each other on the Law Talk email listserv, the members of the class of 2013 really have no trouble speaking for themselves. So I'm going to do something different. All I'm going to do is ask my classmates a question and offer a 3-part answer. To those non-lawyers in the audience, and I'm sure there are a few, this is what we call road mapping an argument. So here's my question. What does it mean to have a shared history? What does it mean to have been part of the JD class of 2013? We all could have gone to different law schools. We all could have gone to law school at different times, and yet some design of providence or some design of fey deals. And I'm not always sure that there's a difference between the two. Brought us together at this time and at this place. So what? Well, first, part of having a shared history is having shared experiences. Just a moment ago, I made a joke about room 180. Why? Because we all know that room 180 is really cold. That's an experience we've shared. We've shared others too. Late night study sessions on the second floor of the law library, lounging on the green Munger turf, blue booking through endless galley nights, enjoying bar review at the Nut House or deviled eggs at the Dutch Goose, dancing at Illusions or Rudy's, listening to friend rap at the open mic. And yeah, parents, I'm not sure I know what that is either. Or my personal favorite, choosing what lunch talk to attend based on which student organization had the better food. No, seriously, I was never more interested in textualism than when I realized the Federalist Society was serving Thai food. Of course, all law students have those sorts of experiences, but these have been uniquely ours. They bind our individual journeys together, and in a way, they bind us to one another. We built this shared history even in unhappy times, when a law talk email made us cringe, when a cold call made us stumble, when our cert petition was denied, or our client got a sentence he didn't deserve, or when, despite our best efforts, an exam didn't break our way. We've built common bonds in moments of personal trial, too, when we suffered disappointment or illness or deep personal loss and found solace and maybe even comfort in the camaraderie of one another. Those experiences, no less than the happy ones, have shaped our history together. Second, shared history isn't something that just happens to us. It's how we react to circumstances. And here, too, our experience has been unique. I don't know if you've heard these rumors, but I'm told that law school elsewhere can be kind of brutal, like the worst 3 years of your life. But here we built a strong, charitable community, and not just because of the palm trees and the sun, as nice as it is, especially today, but because we decided individually and collectively to build a community that would appeal to our better selves. In our best moments, we linked ambition with compassion, achievement with empathy, and excellence with humility. That's not to say that everything was perfect, but I think it says something special about this place and about our class, that most of us chose to spend the night after our last exam together, trapped on a boat in the middle of San Francisco Bay during a 3-hour sunset cruise, and no one even ended up in the water. Third and finally, sharing a common history means being shaped by that history too. To speak personally, I came to law school at 28, as many of you know, and I thought I was pretty well formed and pretty stubborn. But as I prepared for this speech, one of the most remarkable things I realized is over the past 3 years how much I've changed. And I've changed because of all of you. Being surrounded by colleagues of such intelligence and experience, from soldiers to sailors, Marines to airmen, scholars to bankers, human rights activists to teachers, journalists to scientists, and so many more, has given me new perspectives on things I thought I knew and made me realize, in a very humbling way, the many things I don't know. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere along the way, I learned to think like a lawyer. So this person that I've become, this more real version of myself, will be the person that leaves here and goes on with the rest of my life. So it occurs to me that part of having a shared history means having a shared future too, because after all these years together, we are all, in some fashion, the product of the influences of each other. So there's this rule, well, I should say I think it's a rule, that all law graduation speeches have to end with a quote from a Supreme Court justice. So here's mine. Late in his life, Thurgood Marshall said that the miracle of the Constitution was not its birth, but its life. By that he meant not the mere writing of the document, but the 200-year effort to perfect it. If it's not stretching the metaphor too far, I hope something similar will be true for us. What I hope is that years from now, when we look back on our lives, what we'll remember most fondly is not our class's birth, the years that we spent together here in this paradise, but its life, the lives we led after this moment of our parting, having shared and been shaped by our common history, hopefully doing our part to build a world of our highest aspirations, where the weak are secure and the just are free. Fellow graduates, now I'm going to bring it home. Fellow graduates of 2013, I don't know where you all will go from here, but I can't wait to watch and to cheer as you write the next chapters of our collective history. Godspeed, my friends, and congratulations.